Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck is up, bruh?
The fuck are you doing, Rick?
Locking this cat in here, hoping that he doesn't stir shit up.
Our audio went too well last time. You just decided to bring in a cat bell for this episode.
Yeah, I'm blocking out all outside noise. I think we're getting confident here. So
we are.
see what it do.
I have made an upgrade to the setup here after hearing some feedback in that I was in, what was it, 420. I was pretty much, my video was in 420.
Yes.
Or 480, whatever that.
280.
280.
Lower than low.
Lower. So I've heard the feedback. I have purchased a $20 ring light to counteract that.
Ooh.
So yeah, so let's see what happens here. For, cool. All of our big YouTube watchers.
Yeah. I didn't know that YouTube was a big thing to watch pods. I usually go with the Spotify, but whatever
I'm more
floats
of a
your boat.
Spotify guy myself. But yeah, you know what? Mm-hmm. The fans give us feedback and we will respond.
Whatever works, for listening to the riffing and the ranting.
That's, the riffing and the ranting. The riffing and the ranting.
We got to give them what they need and give the people what they want. And it's riffing and it's ranting.
Absolutely.
And that's brisk, baby. That sponsorship is coming soon.
We have not given up on brisk. We will never give up on brisk.
Oh, hell no. They may have given up. We haven't given up on it. Even the brand could live on. I think, GameStop did. They were about to go under.
Right.
They figured it out. Come on, Brisk.
Come on, Brisk. You got this.
Brisk coin.
Great.
Give it to me. But what it do? What it do? We're about halfway through spring training. Are we how are we feeling right now about baseball?
I'm feeling real good. I'm actually heading to a game this weekend. We are recording on a Wednesday night tonight because I will be out of town on normal record days because I'm going to be actually at spring training watching a few games with my dad.
Hell yeah. Going to A's, you're going to move around, see some other ones?
We're going to go to the A's home park, Hohokam versus the Royals. That one's really close to where my dad lives. But then we're going to our favorite park, which is Salt River Fields, where the Diamondbacks and the Rockies play. And it just so happened that the A's are also playing that day.
Nice. Great park.
Yes. Oh, it's a beautiful ballpark.
Yeah.
It's better than the current Oakland Stadium.
Oh, you're talking about Hohokam. I was thinking of
Salt River.
Salt River's hell.
No, Salt River is amazing.
Yes.
Hohokam's just a basic ass spring training park. There's really nothing special about it.
It is, but you'll notice that the signage inside is so much better than the signage at the Coliseum.
Yeah,
clean ass logos and concession signs and just Oakland memorabilia type stuff that you don't get at the Coliseum. What? It's not
Here's
our fault.
Something that really grinds my gears about Hohokam. They brag about having the biggest video board in the Cactus League. That was their whole thing. They brag about this video board. And for those that have been to this ballpark, 50% of the video board is non-moving ads just on the video board, taking up 50% of that screen.
That's so fucking stupid.
For years, they didn't have the pitch speed. You couldn't get the mile per hours.
Really?
Yeah, for years. I think last year when I went for a ballpark, they didn't have the pitch speed on the biggest screen in the Cactus League.
Guess that pitch.
Yeah. You could see my dad just complaining. He likes to have good scoreboards, and when advertisements
Can't tell
are taking
how fast that was. Was that 95 or was that 92? I don't know.
So Paul Sr. was not too happy about them bragging about the video board. And you know what? I agree with them. In my older age, I also agree it's a terrible scoreboard that you guys are bragging about there.
More things grind my gears as I get older. And yeah, that would be one of them. I mean, if you're on your feet, I think I like to call this out when you're trying to get that strike 3 call, dude blows it by him, and you go, yeah, and you take a glance and it says like 98 or 99, and it's a little bit higher than what the average pitch was during that game. You're like, oh shit, he ran it up. He got that last
He reached
strike.
back and fired for that one.
Yeah, so there it does make a difference. I'm a stickler when it comes to shit like that as a fan. Like, I need to be able to look over and see what that was. Also, when he gives up a 3-run bomb off a hanging curveball, I want to know that it was a 75 mile per hour curveball that was just up in the zone.
Correct. But yeah, no. So I'll be down there this weekend. Really looking forward to my first taste of baseball of the year. I'm really excited.
What's with the infatuation with scoreboard size when it comes to the A's? They have this. You just mentioned that. Or it's not just the A's. It's John Fisher, because he has, I don't know if it's the biggest scoreboard or like the largest bar at the San Jose Earthquake Stadium. And they made that a big ass deal. And then for Vegas, they're supposedly going to have the largest scoreboard in all of baseball. So,
right. I'm glad you brought that up.
I don't care how shitty our team is, as long as we have the biggest dong.
He's not gonna spend on that roster, but he's gonna make damn sure he has the biggest something there.
Right. Yeah. All show, no go.
I'm glad you brought that up, because yesterday the renderings, the first real renderings, I guess you could say, for Vegas, because the last ones were apparently garbage, even though they used it at every single county meeting.
Yeah, they got $380 million dedicated from the Nevada taxpayers based off of fake renderings.
When they said,
blows my mind that is a thing. I guess I might be naive to this, but the fact that you can just con your way into $380 million for something that is nowhere looking like, or it's just a lie. It is. That's not what it's going to be. First of all, you said it was going to be a retractable dome stadium. It is not. It's a fixed dome stadium.
Because they can't put a retractable roof on that small of a plot of land. There's just no room for it, and it's going to cost way more money. And we all know the key term here is money, and John Fisher is going to look anywhere to save a dime.
Yeah. Originally, he said in 2023 that he would be dedicating. Are you hearing the jingles in the background?
Yeah, I can't stop laughing at the jingle.
The cat Brick is having a moment, and I was wondering if that would get picked up. So I'll just add a little bit.
It's being picked up, but whatever.
Yeah, a little bit of fun, a little bit of holiday cheer. Originally, he was dedicating $1 billion from his name to the Vegas stadium build, and apparently now it's only 500 million.
500 million. What?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? No retractable roof. You don't have the $1 billion. What are we doing here?
Part of me wants to think that he's just so dumb and like slipping up in his talking points that like maybe he's not phrasing it the right way. I almost want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like the other 500
at this point. The
other 500 is going to come from like other investors or when he sells his portion, and maybe that's what he means. So I'm not, if you take him by his word 100%, oh, of course he's going to fucking put his foot in his mouth and you're going to be able to call him out on everything. But I almost want to assume that he means 500 million of my money after I sell the team, which will make up for the other 500 million of our side. And that's my guess, but he's an idiot.
You calling it a con is just the only way to explain it. This is a complete con job. It's been a con job for decades now. It's
talk about a long con. Give this guy the trophy. Give this guy
the accolades. Cheap bastard
the longest con.
Insane.
John Fisher, you like big, giant, long stuff? Yeah,
Yeah.
long con. That's such a big con.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This is like a 20-year plus con. No,
Yeah.
wait, actually, no. Oh, yeah, it's almost 20 years. He
He bought
bought
the
the
team
team in
in
'05, right?
'06. '05.
'05,
Yeah.
'06.
Yeah.
Keep going, man. Why stop now?
It's almost impressive at this point.
Yeah. So about those renderings, they were, I mean,
Oh.
if everything goes according to plan from here on out, they're playing there on opening day in 2028.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 years from now, they have,
Yes.
I mean, there's still a lot to get done in between this
The
time.
financing, but those renderings were, God, the AI renderings that like some intern just did.
It's so AI, dude. What the?
Well,
Neither
what's
team
funny
is wearing A's jerseys.
no A's jerseys. There's no batter's eye. There's no left field wall.
The the stadium is not full. They
There's
can't even sell out a game in the renderings.
there's flags
Guys.
inside waving in multiple directions in a fixed dome.
Guys, if you're trying to hype up your new stadium, can we just get a full stadium? Can we sell out a game? Can we sell out the renderings at least? If you look at the renderings, dude, the whole front row of the outfield and like behind home plate is empty.
I think that just speaks to how accurate AI is. When you type in AI, you want to create an Oakland A's rendering. They're like, well, this thing's not going to be filled up.
Yeah, they're going to take in realistic stuff at the same time, and they're like, oh well, you wanted an A's crowd, right?
There's no net behind the backstop or going down the lines.
That's a little picky.
I'm that's fine. I'm picky now. I'm nitpicking here, and that's fine.
If we're gonna give that kind of, we're gonna keep that energy with the A's renderings, we got to keep it with MLB The Show's creative stadium options, and the two look alike. Both have giant foul territories for no reason. Why? Why?
Oh, another thing with the renderings, there's no bullpens in that stadium.
Yeah.
Where are they underground? Where are these bullpens? There's not in the outfield. They're not on the field. Where are they?
Maybe it's on top of the roof where the forest was going to be at the Howard Terminal renderings.
So, Rick, give me a percentage. Let's just say they build a stadium in Vegas. What percentage does the final product look like these initial renderings?
I mean, 50% is giving him a lot.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say 5.
Yeah, dude. Another thing is like left field. There's just hella people field level standing behind a see-through left field wall. That is not happening. You can't do that. You can't.
No.
You have no batter's eye in center field. So that's 66% of the outfield right there. There's no lights on the dome. Like, are we just going to have like the sphere type of lighting? Like, is the whole thing going to be a giant screen?
There's no
and
lighting there.
An LED light? One giant LED light?
the lighting is coming from the 18,000 square foot scoreboard.
Yeah. That's either curved, which curved boards suck. Not curved boards, but curved screens are not good. Don't like them. Hate them.
Can't do it.
Get out of here. Or it's just going to be a giant tilted scoreboard hovering right on top of that upper deck and right.
Just going facing straight down.
Clown shoes. It's just clown shoes. So I think giving them 50% is a little much. I'm gonna go 40% because I assume that the field will be a diamond. I assume there will be a home plate and 3 bases, and there will at least be. Oh, there was no base coaches, by the way. I couldn't tell if it was a base coach or a runner on third.
Or how about they said they held off on doing these renderings because they were going to team up with Bally's, and so they could send out the hotel renderings with the stadium renderings, and these renderings don't have the new hotel, which is going to block that sweet view of the fake strip that they had in the AI renderings.
That was the whole reason, yeah, why it was delayed, right? They said, "Oh,
Yes.
well, actually, we want to let Bally's, finalize this and get that resort in there." Well, where was the resort? You just had a bunch of like cool looking grass and trees around the stadium with no resort.
Right. And this giant stadium, again, I say giant because it looks way bigger than 9 acres of land that they're building this thing on.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, it reminded me of the Trop in Tampa. It's 2 levels.
I was just going to say,
a tiny dome.
The percentage-wise, I bet it comes out looking more like the Trop in Tampa Bay than it does what those renderings were.
That's what it looks like.
That would be embarrassing.
Clown shoes. This is a poverty franchise, if I can say so myself. I do think that they will be able to pull off the left field glass wall that they think is so cool. Miami has that, and it's not that cool.
No, because you still have to have padding there.
And you can't really, I mean, you could see out of it if you're like standing at home plate, but you can't really see that far out of it if you're in other places in the park. And
right
on TV, when someone hits a fly ball to left field and the camera pans that way, I don't think you're going to be able to see out into the Vegas skyline. So it's like in Miami, you don't see anything. You just see this glass wall out there. I think Milwaukee has the same thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is so embarrassing. We're really starting to get into what this pod was really about, is us venting about how broken and broke and poverty the A's are.
Coming in hot today. Hot takes.
Well, what was there one story? They're like, the A's cannot have back-to-back bad renderings. Like, the next renderings have to actually mean something, and they're just getting made fun of again.
Actually had good renderings early on when we had like Cisco Field in San Jose, and they had there was a Fremont rendering, I think. Howard Terminal renderings were great. I mean, say what you want, it kind of seemed a little far-fetched having all that park on the ceiling, on the roof. But I was buying into it. I was eating the popcorn, but then again, this is early days of they actually only spent a few years dedicated to Oakland.
Right, because it was San Jose, it was Fremont, it was all these areas where we didn't have rights, or they didn't want us anyways.
Dude, talk about grinds my gears. You go on Twitter and you see like the replies from like other fans or just random Joe Schmoes, and they're like, they've been trying 20 years in Oakland, blah, blah, blah. They can't get it done. It's the city's fault. It's like
nobody goes to the games anyways. Move the team. It's like, damn it! How do you guys be so oblivious to what happened?
You don't know, and I'm just tired now. Like I
am exhausted. I can't keep fighting.
I could try, but then this guy's. It's like talking to It almost feels like a political argument where you can say something.
They will not change their mind. They will not change their mind. Yeah.
And you just get tired.
We're just tired.
Yeah. I'm tired. Go to Vegas already. Spare me the sorrow.
We both say that. We say that now. But like the A's could just say, "Hey, we're actually going to build in Oakland," and we are back on board.
Tickets. Yesterday.
I don't live in Oakland. I would buy season tickets.
I will open a new credit card so that I could buy season tickets immediately.
I would want one of those seats, so I will go in on those season tickets.
And that's the crazy thing. John, it's here. You have the support, dude. I know you don't think you do because no one was going to the games and everyone hates you, but you still can turn this around, man. Build us a tiny little park here in Oakland, and we'll sell that thing out. You'll sell it out on day one just from season tickets, man. I swear.
It's amazing all the damage that he's done, and he could still easily salvage it by just building the worst 30,000 seat stadium in Oakland with no amenities, and we would all buy back in.
Fuck it. We don't need a left field glass wall. Just put a big old Fenway Park green monster.
So just put a chain link fence. I don't care.
with a big waste management sign on it. We'll go. We will
and
show
he could
up.
continue the Moneyball ways of roster churning every 3 years and trading players away for prospects. I would still just be a fan if we had a new stadium in Oakland, if they stayed in Oakland. I would just still
and you'll
do
save
it.
so much money. And you
It's
already
so
got Oakland
gross.
with what they've pledged $400 million.
At least, yeah. And then some.
But
2 sites ready to build. Coliseum and Howard Terminal ready.
yeah. But instead, no.
Nothing.
We want Vegas. Fine. One thing that the renderings kind of... It was funny that the 2 teams weren't wearing A's jerseys. The people in the stands, like I've seen renderings... The Howard Terminal renderings, I can almost guarantee they had like Ricky Henderson jerseys in the stands and
Yes.
real jerseys and like real fan stuff. And people looked real. These ones had like the typical AI botched names, like where it's not really a name.
Yeah. There was botched names. There was one person's glasses that like turned into a hat bill at his eyes.
Wasn't there something with like the socks that the umpire was wearing or the long gloves?
Umpire was wearing
something?
long socks. When have you ever seen an umpire wear long socks?
Probably when Hannes Wagner was at the plate.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that too. So clearly they mailed it in with the renderings, as they've mailed it in with pretty much everything else they've done. And it's no surprise, but we can't even voice our opinions to them directly, as they have replies turned off on every social account possible, even on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn was weird.
It's so weird because like that's where people have professional profiles. Like, why? I'm not going to come at you with like derogatory comments from my professional account
where I try to get jobs and where people could see what I do on there. Yeah,
where I don't want to be fired from, like,
right.
But nope, we're going to turn off LinkedIn replies.
I get it. You don't want you're just, any post you give, even if it's like a heartfelt post for something, you're going to just get all this derogatory stuff. And like, yeah, you deserve it. So like, I get it to a certain point where like, yeah, you don't want this, but you've done it to yourselves. And just turning off the comments is just so bad.
Yeah, I get it, but it's so much worse to have it off now for this long than just letting it happen before. Because if you were just like letting it happen and then the Vegas move happens, you never have to turn back on the comments. If they were already on the entire time, I think there's a chance that people get tired out from it. And then you have like this new Vegas crowd maybe in there drowning them out. But now, when are you going to turn them back on? Because the second you turn them back on, dude, people are going to be relentless. I don't know when they're ever not going to be now, because you've pissed them off so bad and it's so well known that the comments are all off. You're going to have, like, is the A's franchise forever going to just, it's going to be a shitstorm in the comments, like forever, like 2035 Las Vegas A's, like can't post anything without just getting...
I would say for the next 3 years, and then probably the first 3 to 5 years in Vegas, they will just have comments off. Yeah. And then people will just finally give up.
Social media is crazy, man. Like, it doesn't have to be like sports related. When the internet and when social media and Twitter trolls pick something that they do not want to let go of, it could go on for a pretty freaking long time. So
yeah,
you might be really screwing yourself here, Dave Cavill and John Fisher. Dave Cavill blocking everybody. That's so funny.
That's Snake.
It's a weasel. All-time weasel.
That man used to have open office hours, and now he has comments turned off and blocking everyone.
Oh my goodness. The heel turn of Dave Cavill was something of Stone Cold Steve Austin proportions, because he came in like the savior. He came in like he was saving the company from the invasion.
He was.
And then he turned his back on us
Yeah, he was.
I'm trying to think who was it, The Rock or was it Kurt Angle who Stone Cold I think it was at Backlash or the Invasion or something. I don't know. He turned his back on the
Who did
WWF.
Stone Cold betray? Yeah, and he like joined McMahon's side or whatnot.
And then Jim Ross is just going insane. He's going ape shit. God damn it, Austin! It's not as bad as
Austin.
I think he has a worse one with Triple H. Right?
Oh,
there's a vintage Jim Ross rant on Triple H, just like laying into him. I think as they like
that
went
son
off
of
the
a
air.
bitch.
Yeah, he's a goat.
Shout out JR.
Yeah, just the absolute goat. There was a clip that went viral this week in like WWE Twitter or wrestling Twitter, I guess. My algorithm is definitely in like wrestling Twitter now because I get like all these viral wrestling moments now. And it was Triple H making fun of like the bilingual announce table, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he totally put his foot in his mouth, and he said, and JR asked him, "Are you bilingual?" And he's like, "No." He's like, I'm bi on some things, but lingual's not one of them. Like, oh my, what? What'd you just say, dude?
He just goes, all right.
Yeah, JR plays it off cleanly and just like keeps commentary going.
Gets back right into the call.
Yeah. That's going to be a home run to left field.
That is actually a fantastic transition that I wanted to do today. It was not doing a top 5, but we're talking about doing calls right now. And some of our favorite calls that we've heard over the time. So we won't be so depressing talking about the A's right now and talking about JR and Jim Ross calls. And I asked Rick to bring in one of his favorite calls, and I brought one myself. And so, Rick, I want to hear what you got.
Okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be our favorite team call, right? We're just talking calls.
No. Just some of your favorite calls.
Yeah. Here are some of my favorite calls, and man, since we're talking, I
only have one today.
Oh, okay, all right. This call comes from a Bay Area bred announcer, and am I supposed to reenact it? I guess I have to reenact it.
You don't have to completely reenact it. You could just say, "Oh, here we go."
Let me do my best John Miller impression.
Oh, hell yeah!
All right, it's bottom 9, tie game 2-2, home team's up. I think there's one out, and the runner is Ruben Rivera on first base, and a fly ball's hit into right field by the Giants. The ball is misplayed by the right fielder. Ruben Rivera is running towards second.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Is it Ruben Rivera or Ruben Sierra?
I think it's Rivera.
I thought it was Ruben Sierra.
You can check in real time as I'm. I'll let you stat correct here. The fly ball's hitting the right field. Instead of staying close to first base and tagging, he takes off already towards second. I think he's damn near touching second base when the ball sails over the right fielder's glove, and Rivera.
Yeah, you are correct.
Rivera,
my apologies,
starts retreating back to first, thinking the ball was caught. It was not caught. And he proceeds then to, instead of then going to second, he's in between first and second, and he just starts going to third, skipping second. Then he realizes he skipped second. He goes back to first. Anyways, John Miller's call on this play is one of my favorite calls of all time. It might be my favorite call of all time. And it's funny because it's not even on a scoring play. It's not a walk-off. I think it's because he does such a good job, and it would have been so easy for an announcer to really botch this and get caught up in the zigzags and the different things that were thrown his way. But the thing I remember most is as he's describing the entire play, and the play finally eventually plays out where Rivera is thrown out at home. He goes, and that was the worst base running in the history of the game. And it stuck with me. I don't know what year this was. It had to be like early 2000s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was so great. But yes, the Rivera went first to second, back towards first, then to third, then back to second, and then towards third. The Diamondbacks botched the throw to third, so he's actually like, oh shit, I can score. He's all tired out by then. He starts running home, and they get him by a mile. He would have been out at third by a mile, but they botched the throw, and then he had no reason to go home, and he gets gunned out. And Miller is like on point with the call the whole step of the way, and even describing the playback too. He wasn't even out of breath. He's one of my favorite announcers, albeit that he's been a Giants announcer, but he also was a Sunday Night Baseball announcer for ESPN. That's really where I started to hear his voice. And and he's still one of my favorite announcers. He's an all-time great.
He's definitely one of the best of all time. Yeah, he also did like the ESPN 2K baseball series. Him and Joe Morgan did it together.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That was a classic duo. Him and Joe Morgan on Sunday nights. Like,
oh, I loved it.
I could picture it like on my old box TV, a warm Sunday night, and like hearing their voices on for Sunday Night Baseball. It's that brings me back.
Absolutely. Yeah. It didn't matter what two teams were playing. I could sit there and watch that entire game just because I got to hear Miller and Morgan on the call.
Yeah. And it kind of had like a big game feel to it. And I think it's hard to recreate that with baseball nowadays. I mean, I know there are certain announcers, and he might be your call, but there are certain announcers who do still have that big game feel in baseball. But I think it's harder to recreate that nowadays, especially as like, other sports and like college football has gotten bigger, and baseball big games on TV have kind of taken a back seat.
Hell yeah!
But what'd you think of that?
That is a
how'd you like my
fantastic
recreation,
call.
By the way?
That was good because we've said that many times just playing MLB The Show. That has to be the worst base running in the history of the game.
That's what's amazing too, is he was on the Giants call and he's saying it for his own team that it was the worst base running in history of the game. That's a hell of a statement against your own team.
It's a great non-biased call. Another reason why John Miller was one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah. There's times to be non-biased and there's times to be biased. When you're a football announcer and the other team scores a touchdown on you, you shouldn't be all that excited.
We all know who's somebody that does that.
Yeah. Speaking of Vegas, but yeah, and you should be unbiased at times too. And I think he just nails it. Can't say enough about it.
In the pitch, swinging. There's a shot deep in the right center. Racing back to Lucci, still going back into Death Valley. It goes right over his glove. He missed it, but Ruben Rivera missed second base. Now he's heading for third, and they're going to throw him out by plenty. But the throw to third is blocked. Now he's heading home. The loose ball in the infield, and he's out by 5 feet at the plate. And that was the worst base running in the history of the game.
Yes.
Well, so what's yours?
That's a fantastic call. I did not know about that. Didn't think you were going to go with that one. So that's a great one. Mine, we're actually coming up on we're about 12 days away from the 7-year anniversary of this call. This happened during the 2017 World Baseball Classic in the quarterfinal round of USA versus the Dominican Republic. Yes. And Tyler Clippard's on the mound facing Manny Machado. The U.S. team is up 4-2, I believe, in the 6th or 7th inning. And Matt Vasgersian on the call, the great Matty V. And
big game Matty V.
Matty V, right before the pitch goes, Tyler Clippard's looking for a clean inning here. As he releases the ball, and Manny rips this ball to right center. Like just rips it. Yes, that's exactly the noise because Like, oh, it's great. This game's going to be 4-3 now. And Adam Jones of the Orioles, who's is playing center field for Team USA, and he's tracking this ball. And Matt Vasgersian does this call. I'm going to try to recreate it the best without just yelling into the mic. And after the and Adam Jones goes, he's on the move. He's running out of room, and he makes the catch. And then there's this huge roar of the crowd, almost drowning out Matty V. But you hear Matty V go, he makes the catch again. And then he gives the classic Matty V call of a Santa Maria.
Inject that into my veins. Santa Maria.
The mixture, I have goosebumps thinking about it, because it's the mixture of the crowd noise with Matty V yelling over the crowd. You could barely hear him yell Santa Maria. And it was, you and I are both big fans of the WBC, but that game, that series just made the World Baseball Classic mean so much more to just Americans. It was already worldwide popular, but the Americans just didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But
you gotta
that
have your
2017
moments.
team and that moment alone just got everybody, because I was only in the quarterfinals. Was more importantly, with that catch, the next batter was Robinson Cano and hit a home run off Tyler Clippard the next at bat.
Oh,
So it would have been a tie game if Adam Jones does not rob this home run.
I mean, he's arguably Adam Jones known for that more than Orioles history.
Yeah. And he had a great career.
Absolutely. Yes. And he's still very much involved with that organization. But yeah, that play, I mean, you got that play, the atmosphere, the fans behind the wall, the call, the moment with the WBC, San Diego, like it's all
in San
there.
Diego. Adam Jones is from San Diego.
Oh,
hometown kid
goodness.
making that play.
Come on. For crying out loud.
And Manny Machado, who hit the ball, was teammates with Adam Jones at the time. This play had it all. And it's one of my favorite baseball plays of all time, and just a fantastic call by Matty V.
Get well out to right center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes the catch.
Yeah. Big game Matty V. That's who I had in mind when I said that. I was like, you know, it's hard to recreate nowadays, but if I had one guy, if you could give me one guy to call a game right now for a baseball game, it'd be Matty V. And it's a damn shame that we don't really hear him nationally anymore. I don't know if he still does MLB Network stuff, but he was on the Angels regional broadcast.
He's on the
recently. I don't know if he's doing that.
A backseat with the Angels. I don't know what he's doing now.
And he's an A's fan. That's
What hurts is that he's an A's fan, but when he was also employed but that's great. But when he was employed by MLB Network, with MLB Network being owned by MLB and the owners, they're not allowed to disparage anything. So like talking about the move, Matty V was like in favor of it. And we know that's not how you feel, dude, Matty.
There's no way, man. Come on, blink twice.
Don't do this to us.
Blink twice if you're okay,
if
man.
You're in trouble. Yeah.
Like there's a gag order there. We know it. I mean, there's some guys at the A's too that I really like, and I like to listen to, and have given great like post game stuff. And I mean, they're employed by the A's, so I know that they're not going to be able to talk much and say stuff publicly. Maybe they don't even have a Twitter, because there's no point. Why would you? What are you going to do? You're just going to put out team propaganda. So I get it. I mean, if that's your full-time job, lifetime job, which is it's something I forgot to mention on last pod. There's a quick anecdote here. Speaking of all-time calls and quotes, one time we're bringing in, this is me and our former coworker John, who also went to high school with us, and he was also a cart attendant. And there's one day where he and I are out in front of the store, and I think we used to do this a lot. Like one guy would be bringing in like 8 carts, like 8 to 10 carts. You know, he's working hard. The other guy's kind of like towards the end of his shift, maybe taking a little bit of a break. He doesn't need to pull in that many because he's been doing it all day. So the other guy kind of comes in and, all right, let me take some of the brunt.
Picks up the slack.
Yeah, let me pick up the slack here. And the other guy's kind of just like walking next to him, shooting the shit. So that's the exact situation here. John was bringing in probably 8 to 10 carts at the time, 7 to 10. and I'm just like standing next to him talking, and he's bringing it in through the front of the store, and this gentleman is walking by. He's probably going to eventually walk into the store, but he just looks at John as John is like struggling to bring in this load of carts, and he just kind of like shakes his head and goes, "Lifetime job." Like, what did he just say? And I was like, did you hear that? And then John like looks back and he's like, what he just said? I said, he said lifetime job. I was like, what does he mean by that? Like, is that a
just
dig?
like that? It goes, lifetime job.
Yeah, it was like that. It was exactly like lifetime job. And was that a dig? Like, is he saying that like this is as good as we're ever gonna get in employment?
You have peaked in life?
Yes, this is our lifetime job. Is it because he was
like
struggling?
He can't do anything else? Yeah, he's struggling at this, and so he can't do anything else in life.
And so that, whenever lifetime job. That stuck with me. All-time Target moment there.
That is fantastic.
But I love the choice for Matty V. That's a classic call. And
I'd definitely like to
is up there.
do this down the road. Just bring in some of our favorite calls. That's kind of like what we did while we were pushing carts. We would just make up calls, or we've definitely done the worst base running in the history of game call as we were collecting carts.
Oh yeah,
just looking back at it.
And I'm a stickler on calls. It's one of my. It could be a pet peeve, or it could be something that gets me really excited.
Absolutely.
A good call or underselling a call could really piss me off. A good call,
yes,
I could really appreciate. So it really makes or breaks. Like there's certain guys out there. I really like the Orioles play-by-play guy.
I'm a big Don Orsillo guy with the Padres, and he was with the Red Sox for a while. But Don Orsillo with the Padres has a lot of excitement in his calls. Maybe a little overexcitement when Tatis does the simplest things, but
right.
And people make memes about it all the time of him just catching an easy fly ball, and they clip in an Orsillo call of him going crazy.
Yeah, but we've been witness to underselling calls too in our home market, and that grinds my gears. So that's something I can riff and rant on for days. But there is like other announcers out there that not necessarily there's like a moment, but there was a call that over the years, eventually it stuck, and I didn't know when it started, but like the guy in Chicago, I think is Hawk Harrelson.
Oh, I have a confession. I am not a Hawk Harrelson guy.
I don't know much about the guy, but his signature call is one that I actually like, and you might not like it.
I don't like it.
You can put it on the board. Yes. I like that call.
I don't.
Why? I must ask. What is it? What is it about Hawk?
Bugs me. Well, I think we talked about earlier about biasness, and he was the White Sox guy, and he rode the White Sox hard, and no matter what it was, he despised every other. It seems like he despised every other player, umpire, anybody on the other team that wasn't a White Sox. I was just, and this is a complete hot take. I could be talking out of my ass. I don't know too much about it. So any Hawk Harrelson stands out there, don't come after me. I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. He just kind of bugs me.
That man has a family, Paul.
Yeah.
No, but that was an example of just a call that I know, that I'm familiar with, that's just kind of out there. I don't think he doesn't do play-by-play anymore. I think he stopped quite a few years back, actually.
Right.
But I don't like overdoing it, though, too. There's some guys who's like, you can tell that they tried to make this their signature call. I don't think Hawk Harrelson tried to make that. I think it...
No,
I think it
doing it forever,
happened.
so it was probably really nice back in the day when he first started.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you used to be able to get away with a lot probably as an old-timey. Even in like the 80s, like you could probably do some really corny shit and it was it passed. But not nowadays, man. We can sniff it out.
I'm a big Dallas Braden guy, but when he really tried to get the Pound Town thing,
Is he still do it?
I think very rarely he does it. I'm a big Dallas Braden guy, but
it's a lot.
He would do a home run call after Kuiper's already home run call. So he would do a home run call for the replay.
Right. So I only like it because it makes up for how bad the actual call probably was. And you know how I feel about Kuiper's calls.
Kuiper's calls are historically terrible.
I can make a highlight reel of how many times he undersold either a walk-off or a home run.
Biggest one I remember is Ramon Laureano's first major league hit walk-off. And he was so silent about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't very good for walk-offs, that's for sure. So that's when you need you can put it on the board. Yes.
Yes.
At least give me that. At least he was exciting.
So one of my there's a Hawk Harrelson call that I remember, and I think it was for Burley's perfect game. So this was after the Dwayne Wise catch. This is the final out of the game, and Alexi Ramirez is playing shortstop, and Harrelson, it's a ground ball to Alexi Ramirez, and he fields it, and Harrelson just goes, Alexi!
Oh, yes.
Yes! Yes!
You never hear that. Alexa! No. Like, calling the guy, like, come on, dude!
Yeah. All right. I told you this was a hot take of me earlier. I know. I'm already coming around to it now.
Save it for the final confession. I think I know what yours is going to be.
No, you don't. I have a great final confession today. But leading into that,
floor is yours.
Rick, can you guess that A's player?
Yes, I can. He's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. Yes.
Guess that A's player.
Oh yeah, I always forget that I'm supposed to just say a random name.
Just have to guess.
I'm almost afraid that I'm going to get it right.
If you get this right, I will be shocked. I would be shocked if you got this on the first try.
Billy McMillan.
Billy McMillan. No.
Now I look that up to see if that's actually a former A's player.
Maybe I don't know.
Yes, it is.
This former Oakland A's player was a pitcher.
Brandon McCarthy.
This former Oakland A's pitcher played for 5 teams from 1997 to 2008.
He played from 5 teams from 1997 to 2008. Okay. Andrew Bailey. No. Take that back. Let me take that back. Can I take that back?
97 to 2008.
Yes. Not the 08 Rookie of the Year, Andrew Bailey. Or wherever he was there.
So I will allow you to re-guess.
Okay. I really wish I had more hints. Because I have to say names.
The next one will be much better.
That I know are wrong. I'm going to go with Rich Harden.
This Oakland A's pitcher played from Oakland from 2002 to 2005.
Jason Isringhausen. Houston Street.
No. 2002, Rick. He was a relief pitcher. He was acquired halfway through the 2002 season.
Ricardo Rincon.
Ricardo Rincon.
Boom, boom, boom. You can put it on the board. Yes.
I really don't like Ricardo Rincon.
I always really liked Ricardo Rincon.
Oh, Danielle and I growing up, we hated Ricardo Rincon because it always just felt like he was blowing the game. Even though I'm looking at his baseball reference page, and he actually had 3 really good years for us.
Yeah.
His 05 wasn't that good. I just never liked Ricardo Rincon. He always just kind of pissed me off.
I mean, I never really liked relief pitchers growing up, but I think he wasn't one of my most disliked. I think there was guys like Jim Messier and
Oh yeah,
no, I liked
Jeff Tam.
Yeah, I did not like Jeff Tam. Loved Isringhausen. Chad Bradford, it was hit or miss. I'm not a big submariner. I don't like submariners. Not even if you're good. And so that just kind of pissed me off all the time. But yes, Ricardo Rincon. Wasn't he featured a lot in Moneyball? Or they made a big deal out of him?
That is going to lead me to my final confession for today. I don't like the movie Moneyball.
Yeah. I think I used to like it more how long has it been out for? 10 years? 15 years?
Since 2012.
The first half of it being out, I think I liked it. And then it was kind of like our thing. Like the A's had something. Yeah, that's our movie. But the more you talk about it and the more you think about it, I'll let you confess here.
It's just not it's not that accurate. They as you stated, Ricardo Rincon was a huge part of this movie, like acquiring him at the deadline. He threw 20 innings for the 2002 Oakland A's. 20 innings. 20 innings is all that he threw for the 2002 Oakland A's that deserved multiple scenes of talking about acquiring Rincon. Yeah. Not really mentioned in the movie was 23-game winner, Cy Young Award winner Barry Zito, 19-game winner Mark Mulder, sub-3 ERA Tim Hudson, 44 saves for Billy Koch.
Right, there's so many other players that could have been talked about and mentioned in that movie.
Only scene in the background of most scenes is MVP Miguel Tejada.
I don't even remember ever seeing Tejada in Moneyball. And that was...
You'd see the back of his jersey from time to time in the background of scenes.
The MVP, dog. Like, we're just not going to... It's about that season.
34 home runs and 109 RBIs by my favorite athletic, Eric Chavez.
Nope.
But what was huge in that movie was David Justice. David Justice only played in 118 games and hit 266 with a 785 OPS.
I never understood why he was such a big part of that movie. Like, yes, it
made no sense.
He was a good player for us, and he was like kind of like the new shiny toy, but he wasn't the best or even like, top 3.
Yeah.
Was it because he had he looked better on camera and he was like one of the taller guys, like that they could
I don't know
make look good?
I don't know.
Is it a Hollywood thing? Is it because he's more seen in real life as opposed to Tejada?
That 2002 season was Eric Chavez's age 24 season. Age 24, yakking out 34 home runs and 109 ribbies. Insane.
You got the big 3, dog. Like
the big 3 are not mentioned in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they talk about Chad Bradford, Ricardo Rincon, David Justice, and Hatteberg in this movie.
Right.
The A's won, over 100 games the year prior, right? And
yeah,
they had this amazing farm system and drafted all these great players. But no, let's talk about David Justice.
I get
hitting 260.
Yeah. If those guys had big moments or won certain games, maybe a playoff game or something for you on the way to a title, which I'll get to later, which maybe. But if I took someone who knew nothing about the A's or that season, and I gave them, all right, write the script and pick out like the top 5 guys you're going to focus on. Here's the stat sheet from that season. Go.
Yeah.
They're going to pick Tejada, Chavez, the big 3. No. Who the fuck wrote this shit?
Oh, also,
Ricardo
you know
Rincon, Chad Bradford, and I get the Hatteberg thing because he's the guy who hit the homer. But
because he got the home run. But yeah,
David Justice.
Remember when they made such a big deal about trading Carlos Pena? Which he went on to have a decent career. He was hitting 218 for the A's before he was traded.
It's so dumb. It's so inaccurate. It's so dumb.
Yeah, and that's why that movie really I loved it when it first came out. So I remember I was stationed in North Dakota at the time, and this was I missed it because it came out during basic training or whatnot. And so when I finally got home for the first time, Danielle found an independent movie theater that was still showing it in Oakland. It was one of these single room cinemas, and so I saw it in Oakland, and it was the first time seeing it, and I had goosebumps, and it was fantastic to see. And then a few years down the road, I'm like, this movie kind of sucks.
It does suck.
So I
don't like it.
I don't like it either. So that's why Ricardo Rincon was my Guess That A's player, because it led into my final confession of me just not liking the movie Moneyball.
As you shouldn't. And maybe we could just tell Moneyball to screw off. Get out of here. Go.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Go on, get.
It's like that scene in Air Bud where he throws the ball into the bushes or some shit. He's trying to tell the dog to go on and get.
It kind of sounds like Harry and the Hendersons, if you ever watched that.
I have not watched that, but it's probably a better movie than Moneyball.
Yeah, I will not do a deep dive into Harry and the Hendersons right now.
Great that you had Brad Pitt in the Coliseum. And here's a fun fact. The guy who played as a stand-in for A-Rod as a Texas Ranger in that movie is a buddy of mine, because he was a big head with me at the A's, and he was mostly in the Raleigh Fingers costume. But at the time, I think he was doing background stuff or modeling or acting, and he was this tan, somewhat tall, kind of jacked, and he showed up to the casting, and they chose him to be A-Rod. Holy shit, dude, you're Alex Rodriguez? He goes, yeah, but no one will ever know. Well, I know. So I got to run with A-Rod.
Hell yeah. You have any final confessions, Rick?
Let's see. I do have a final confession. Speaking of the big heads, and I've alluded to me being Eck. Just brought up a buddy who's been Raleigh. I think I've talked about Raleigh too before. Obviously, the third big head is Ricky Henderson. Now, a lot, if not all, of the big heads were white guys. We had some Latino guys. We had one black guy originally, at the first year, maybe year and a half. But over the next 3.5 to 4 years when I was there, no black guys. So my confession is that in order to get the job done, the big head sometimes had to improvise when it comes to complexion or skin tone, if you will. Now, the head is taken care of. Ricky Henderson head is made up. That, it's a big giant head. But when we talk about you put the jersey on, I mean, you got arms that you got to worry about. I can't put on the Ricky costume and have my arms hanging out. It wouldn't match the skin tone.
Right.
So
go on.
The big heads had a way to kind of fix this, if you will. And what we had were these two, how a DB in football might wear the compression sleeves, they're the half sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had that, but they weren't necessarily like dry fit. They were like fabric. And we called them the mocha sleeves.
Of course you did.
You can't call them the black sleeves. So we called them the mocha sleeves. And have you ever seen that Key and Peele sketch where it's like Obama going around and like shaking everyone's hand?
Yes.
And like, so the black people, he's like dabbing them up. And then the white people, he just gives them like a firm handshake.
Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Yeah. So the guy who would like put on the mocha sleeves wasn't really quite there when it came to understanding the whole like daps and pounds thing.
Just wasn't getting it.
He was not getting it. He didn't really have that swagger rating that Madden used to have for us.
Mm-hmm. And Ricky is the definition of swag.
Dude, the guy who would be popping his collar around the bases after hitting a home run. The guy who would catch a fly ball with the glove around his back. That kind of swag. So anyways.
The guy that says, today, I'm the greatest of all time.
Yeah. The guy who refers to himself in the third person, Ricky. So
go on.
So the kid who's in the Ricky costume and he's wearing the mocha sleeves, I mean, you can't tell by looking at him that it's a white kid. But when he goes and interacts with fans, you know, some people want a handshake. They want a hand pound. They want to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So they kind of can get a feel of your attitude, you know, what you're working with there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one time, it's a black family, and they go to say what's up to Ricky as everyone is really excited to say what's up. And he kind of just gives them a handshake, and they're going in for like one of these, like,
oh no.
And he's just like, and they're like, what's wrong, Ricky? And they're like, man, that must be a white guy in there. Oh no, Ricky's exposed. And then they start like picking at the mocha sleeves. I mean, the mocha sleeves did have a stretchy band that went around your back. Mm-hmm. So if someone did try to pull them down, there is something holding it up, but they move a little bit. So luckily the actual baseball jersey sleeves went far down enough to cover it, but they were tugging at it. They were trying to see what Ricky really was. And it was like this kid was wearing like beat up white Big 5 generic Nikes.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's basically like the generic one version when you're creating a player in any game, like the generic one,
generic sneakers one.
Mm-hmm. They knew. He should adapt. He should have dabbed him up.
Yeah.
But that's my confession: is things weren't always what they appeared as at the big heads, and you know we got called out sometimes, but the show went on, and I'm very proud of what we accomplished there as the big head crew.
As you should.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Ricky gonna dab him up. Ricky gonna be Ricky.
Oh God.
One last confession. A little mini confession. A little mini confess. A little fess up.
All right. Okay.
Little young fess. From 2001, excluding 2002, to 2004, Billy McMillan was an Oakland A's outfielder. He hit .293 in 20 games in 01, .268 in 66 games in 03, .185 in 04. Billy McMillan. I cannot recall seeing one highlight, one clip of Billy McMillan.
It's very impressive that you pulled that name out of your ass.
Here's my little young fess. It's that in MVP baseball, I had, you know, the game ships with whoever is like on the roster at the time.
Oh yeah, there's no roster updates there, really.
Yeah, no roster updates. So whoever the studio thinks is on the roster at the time they make the game.
What you're getting, so like it.
Mm-hmm. So Billy McMillan was on the roster, And
Wow.
I had no idea who the guy was. I played with him. I think he was a lefty bat and had pretty good contact. So I played a little bit more with him in video games than I ever saw him in real life playing for the A's. That's I might be bringing up an obscure A every pod.
Sounds good. That's what we're here for.
Lefty A's outfielder bats. Plenty more to come,
Ryan
folks.
Sweeney.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to go a cat to go take care of. So apparently this is it. These were my
All right.
confessions.
My confessions.
Closer to an hour this week.
Yeah, we're getting we're getting there.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good time at spring training. You got to let us know when you get back. All the glitz and glamour of Hohokam and Salt River, and looking forward to hearing that.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. All right. Well,
All right.
catch you later, Botch.
All right. Botch.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Yes!